Hey everyone, we're back at Coffee with Founders. Today we have Carolina with us. She's the founder of L'Artisan. Carolina, thank you so much for being here with us today.
No, thank you guys for inviting me. This is so exciting.
Yeah, it is great. And well, you have an amazing and inspiring story. So why don't we start from the beginning? How did this idea come? Why did you start L'Artisan and how did it happen?
So the whole idea of creating a vegan bakery, as if it started about 6 years ago. I went to culinary school because I had in my mind that I could create something unique to offer to the vegan community. Because being vegan myself, I knew that there were so many business opportunities and so many things that we were missing out. Like, for example, croissants. That's something that I love to have a very nice, like gourmet breakfast or brunch with croissants. And that's something that I couldn't find anywhere. I dedicated myself to travel and look for that special item everywhere. And I didn't find it. And I said, okay, you know what? Then let's do it. When I had my baby, they're twins, they had a condition. They were allergic to the casein, which is one of the proteins from the milk, the cow's milk. And it was very concerning because back then the doctor told me, listen, you cannot give them any kind of formula, and you cannot drink any kind of milk or dairy products, or not even eat any kind of meat, because everything that you eat, of course, you're going to give it to your baby. So they were suffering a lot. We were very, very worried because I said, okay, if they don't drink any milk, so how are they going to thrive? How are they going to survive? So back then, the doctor told me, listen, Carolina, the human being doesn't need cow's milk to survive. That's myth. And I was shocked. I'm like, what? But how come? I mean, that's impossible. And he said, yeah, it is possible, and your kids are going to be fine. So all that process got me into, researching and kind of see, okay, I don't want my kids to miss out at school if they have pizza Friday. So I want them to also have that pizza. So I was making cheese at home. I was making almond milk at home. I was making their own cupcakes. I was not a chef back then. I was just a worried and very concerned mom that wanted her kids to feel integrated in and have the normal life that any other kid would have.
Talking about that journey, you kind of like face this challenge with your kids, and then you started researching and learning just to help them feel better, of course. And then now, after that, you went through your own process of veganism and, teaching yourself why vegan is good and then how you could follow that diet. Then you discover your passion. Okay, I want to create my business, and I want it to be a very unique idea. So how was that process? Did you know you wanted to open a creative bakery right away? Did you know it was only croissants? When you made that decision, what was your first step? Were you making those croissants? Did you bring somebody on board to help you?
So at the beginning, I brought someone to help me. My husband and I were clear. We want to make, this French vegan bakery, and we want to have desserts. We want to have croissants, and we want to have kind of the empanadas, which is my Latin roots there, because it had to go somewhere.
It has to be there.
Yeah, it had to be there. So, and those are the three staples in the bakery. They are, like hand to hand. How many percent we sell? Oh, but we sold so many empanadas.
That's the highlight.
Yes, it's great. So yeah, we hired a chef back then because I went to culinary school. I learned so many techniques and all these things, but I didn't know how to make croissants professionally. One thing is, okay, I'm going to make 12 croissants or 20, or I'm going to make 300. I'm going to make 500. So it's a different process entirely. This person, he came in, he helped us a lot. But then 1 month after we opened, he left, and I was all by myself facing this new challenge in my life.
Wow.
Because yes, I mean, something that I would do different is to learn before I open my business, to actually know exactly how to master every single detail of the process before and not during. So that's something that I would have done different. But it is the way it happened. And it also gave me the opportunity to prove myself that I am more capable than I thought I was. Because one of the things I was telling my husband, okay, no, because I don't have the experience. I don't know how to do it. I was putting those limits myself. I was the one that was so like self-conscious that I didn't want to jump in and learn it. I was, no, I'll hire someone. I hired the expert. I will hire the person with the expertise and the experience.
Yeah.
But the
and
truth
at the same
is,
time, it's hard when you know, because you say, well, I would do different, that I would learn all the processes before opening. But at the same time, it's hard to know everything that you're going to need because you're guesstimating the numbers
yes,
that the croissants that you're going to sell.
that's very important. Yes. Because in my mind, okay, we sell, let's say, 2 dozens of croissants a day. I would be happy. I was doing my numbers. Yeah, perfect. 2 people working in the back, 1 people taking care of the front of the house. But boy, was I wrong. We were selling so many croissants a day that we couldn't keep up. And then wholesale, and then people that wanted shipped outside of the state, and we were like, wow, okay, this is bigger than we ever expected.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by your concept, because when I went to visit the bakery, I knew what the concept was about, but I saw your logo and I saw Creative Bakery. I knew it was a vegan pastry shop, but I didn't see the word vegan. So I was very intrigued by the story behind it. Why is it that they didn't choose to put the word vegan out there?
One of the things that I'm very creative myself. So that's the part of me that is in the name. So I'm the one that is always, my brain never stops. I'm always trying to, okay, what if I bring this? What if I combine this? What if? So that's me right there, 100%. And I didn't want to put the name vegan because I wanted people to give me opportunity, the chance. Hey, come in, try it. If you don't like it, fine. You don't even have to pay. Sometimes I would tell them, if you don't like it, it's fine. But then have that experience, and you see and see people's faces. Wow, this is good. Is it vegan? And you're like, yes, it is. And that's what I wanted, and that's what we keep having every day with different customers when they walk in. Because they say, oh, this place is beautiful, it's really pretty, let me see, oh, wow, this croissants, I want to try this and that. The only way that a non-vegan realizes that they are in a vegan bakery is when they order coffee. Because, okay, I want a cappuccino. Okay, what kind of milk would you like? No, I want regular milk. Okay, we have cashew, we have soy, we have oats. Do you have cow's milk? No, we're a vegan place.
No, we're a vegan bakery.
That's where,
wow.
And they're, what? Hold on. This is vegan? Yes. And this? Yes. Also this? Yes. Wow. So that's kind of the what I wanted to create. You know,
That's
like
incredible.
For those non-vegan people, just to give us the opportunity. Walk in, feel yourself like in a nice environment, nice place, and give us a chance. Just try it.
And I think it's great that you've done it. You know, like we've seen your growth and what you've done. You know, in the last 6 years. And I want to touch on a little point that you started to touch a little bit, but we didn't get into it. It's when that person that helped you at the beginning left, and you were all facing this. Okay, now what? What do I do? How do I learn all this process?
Exactly.
How was that first big challenge that you faced in terms of personally, how you were able to overcome that? How did it affect the business? And how did you manage to survive and now being what you are today?
Hard work and determination, and the support of my husband. without him, I don't think we would be talking right now. Because he was the one, he told me, listen, you have everything what it takes. So believe in yourself. I'm going to start looking for places you can go and take classes and take courses, and we got this. So that faith that things are going to get better is what makes the difference. And not being afraid that, okay, if we mess up, we will do it again. So those were long, long nights and days. I mean, I was working 20 hours a day, and I'm not lying, because I was sleeping at the bakery. I would bring just a blanket and a pillow, and okay, let me just grab a nap quickly and let's try it again, and let's do it again. So in that process, imagine I was making, let's say, 100 croissants, and I could only get like 20 or 30 that were nice to sell.
Yeah, so basically you were going to waste 70, 80% of your production.
Right? Exactly. And of course, I was completely drained emotionally and physically, because those are long hours standing on my feet and working with heavy weight, and also all the stress of having a business that people wanted to be there and they wanted the product, and it was like, I am not delivering. What am I gonna do?
Right.
So my husband Jonathan, he sent me a link and he said, listen, you are gonna take this class. This is the best pastry chef right now in New York, and you're gonna go to Utah. And I was like, what?
That's what you're gonna do.
That's what you're gonna do. And say, okay, let's do it. I will make as many croissants as much as I can. I will leave the production here, and I'm gonna pack my stuff and go there. So when I met this chef, I showed the pictures of my production and the issues that I was having, and he said, wow, don't worry, I can help you. That has happened to me too. And I felt like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not such a failure. And he gave me just one little trick. He said, listen, you are in Miami. The weather is horrible. Humidity, you have to control those aspects.
Yeah.
And you have to keep all your ingredients in a controlled environment, like put it as cold as possible and try to work as cold as possible. And that single change, I remember I called my assistant back then, and I told him, listen, put everything in the freezer before you start working, and then we're gonna see what happens.
We're gonna try it.
Yeah, and I remember that day he sent me pictures like 6 hours later, and the croissants were perfect.
Wow.
Perfect. Since then, I mean, that was I could breathe. I came back, and I remember I was working the night shift, because then the kitchen was cold. And so I was getting there around 11 a.m., start my production, and then start rolling around 7 when everybody was leaving, until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and drive myself back home. So that was every single day. But I felt
long days and long hours. And I'm just picturing yourself in that situation, and not just the pressure of, you know, having the right product and making it right, but the business side of it. The cost of your product being vegan is expensive, more than any regular wheat or anything like that. And you're putting to waste 70 to 80% of your production. That's cost of materials that you can't sell and that you're wasting. So
and time also.
Yeah. Aside from the time and the hours that you're spending.
Yeah, no, it was, thank God. I mean, we were able to sell other different things.
Right.
So it was not only the croissants, and we were selling like the empanadas. They were not giving any problem.
That's where they were.
The desserts and cookies and all the other products that kind of made up. And of course, I was not paying myself any salary.
Yeah.
So I was kind of absorbing all that impact. Yes. So.
And Carolina, this was when you were still Miami Beach. You were still Miami Beach, and okay. Because when did you move to the Gables?
We moved in December. I mean, we closed the location in December, and we opened here in March 2021. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the business side, because you went to culinary school, but you
Mhm.
never were around, restaurants, and you were talking about processes and learning before
Mhm.
opening, but
Mhm.
you just went ahead and did it. On those first steps, first days, how did you manage to set those foundations for your business?
I have a background in business administration. So, and my husband and I, we've been business owners since we met. It's been something that we have done for many years now, more than 16 years together. So it was adapting all those processes and all those ways of doing business to just a new concept. So you need to know how to establish checklists, how to establish a process, how to establish the workflow of your production. He's an engineer and he was, okay, this is just like any other project. Where does the process start? How does it go through? And where it ends. So having that mentality, it has helped us to develop that process, to reduce costs, to reduce man hours, to be more efficient, to be more proactive when anything happens. So that's important, that you have all that background. We just adapted from the other businesses that we had so far to this new one. Of course, at some point I was very desperate, and he said, that's why I always say he's my backbone, because he was the one who said, this is just like any other project. Don't worry. We are going to get through this. It's
Yeah,
just
we're gonna have to figure out how to make those
yeah.
croissants, but this is a
But
part
it is
of
just
this
a
business.
project. So we sat down, we wrote it down, we figured out everything. And that's how it's been working so far. So that's the same way I teach the people that works with me. This is a project. This starts here, point A, and this is the end result. So when something goes wrong, I mean, when the result is not as I expected, I always tell them we need to look back in the process, because it is human error. It is not that, no, but I don't know, anything crazy, because sometimes you are like, oh, but what happened? There was something, it is human error, and it has to be, you have to look back and see where it was. That's the way
and it always can be fixed. And
it
I
can
think
always
that
be fixed.
it's really
Always.
important. Yeah. And I think because we always, and a lot of people that we see, you get frustrated when the outcome is not what you're expecting. And it's like you said, I mean, you and your husband have a lot of experience. You have owned businesses for over 15 years. And sometimes you have to adjust the processes. Sometimes you don't really know everything, because every business is going to be different. And even though you try to avoid those mistakes as much as you can, they're always going to happen. And I wanted to ask you, because you and your husband having that background, so I guess for you guys it's a little bit easier to build those foundations and to start that business mentality and have it run like a business. But there are people that, let's say a baker that just knows how to make the croissants, like the opposite of you. He knows how to start and bake a perfect 1,000 croissants in 2 hours, but he doesn't know how to run the business itself. What would you say to a person like that? And what would you be like saying, like little tips that can help that person build that strong foundation to run a business instead of just baking?
Study. You have to, I mean, the best investment you can do in your own business is to study wherever you are. You have that, let's say you don't know how to fill your taxes. Okay, go online. And it can even be free, because YouTube, you can get videos on how to file your taxes.
Yeah.
And go and get it done. You have to learn every single process of your business. It's not just the croissant, it's how to run it. You have to know how to work your social media. That's crucial, because community right now is everything. If we survive the pandemic, it's because we have a very strong community on social media, and they helped us to get through. So it's not only about the product that you're selling, it's about how you run your business. It's how you you know how to hire, how to interview, how to keep that personnel, that is the people that work for you, that they are motivated, that they're happy, that they're doing their job, that when they need you, that you can be there for them. And then when you need them, they're going to be there for you. So it is not only about just making croissants or cakes or whatever you are going to sell. It's not only the product, it's the whole thing that you need to master. And we all have weaknesses, some part or the other, but study. Go there. You don't have to spend a fortune. You can go online, get yourself, I don't know, this so many people right now, they're offering free webinars and free things that you can learn.
Yeah,
I do it right now. Like 2 days ago, I was on a webinar about how to manage Instagram, because the algorithm changed and then you don't get so much exposure. And
yeah.
I didn't know about this 6 years ago. I was not interested at all.
Right.
And it was free. It was like an hour and it was for free. Of course, they were selling something at the end, but those little things that I learned there, I'm going to do it right now.
You wouldn't have known them otherwise, for sure.
And you have to be on top of that. So yeah,
I think having, and I totally agree with you, Carolina, having those foundations set from the beginning or fixing them along the way, setting those processes is going to allow you to take some time to study and work on those other departments that you may not be spending so much time, and then you can improve over time.
Yeah.
Carolina, tell us a little bit about what's next for Larissa. What's coming? What's cooking
so
for
much.
you?
So
literally,
that brain doesn't stop, so it's always a lot coming.
It's
I'm
funny.
excited about this question because I know you're super creative and you guys are working on different products and projects. So
it's like you see my eyes changing. It's like, wow, so what's coming? Right.
Well, they say that when you look up and write, you're kind of like trying to get to your creative side. So
immediately, I'm like, yes, what's coming? So we rented the space next to us because we wanted to open a donut shop, a vegan donut shop. And of course, it's going to take some time because permits and drawings and all this, but maybe we've incorporated into L'Artisan itself sooner than expected. We want to expand, of course. We are waiting on another project in downtown Miami. And this morning, somebody sent us a text on Instagram saying, you should be like McDonald's, like you should be everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that's the master plan. That's what we want, to be, like more accessible to everyone and be in every single city in the United States. So we dream big. and
that's what you need to do. I think with such a creative concept like yours and such a delicious product like yours, and now expanding into another kind of product, I think it's amazing how you get those DMs, how you get those messages from those people. And I bet it's so rewarding to look back and see, okay, I went through this, I didn't know how to do it, we figured it out, my husband did this, my kids inspire me, and now we're here. People are wanting me to go everywhere. People are wanting me to be the next McDonald's. So that is incredible for me.
Yes, no, it's very rewarding for sure. I mean,
I can imagine.
See all that growth and to see that I believed in myself, and now I can feel that, okay, we are in the right place. We did the right thing.
Yeah.
So it is just the beginning. So right now it's just the beginning.
And I think that, what you said, that going through challenges and there's a lot of emotion involved when you're going through the business. I mean, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty. That is usually what stops people from going and getting what they want to do. And I think that's a big lesson that you just taught us, is that you can face anything, but if you have the right mindset and you stay there and sleeping in your place and doing it over and over again, you're always going to find a way. And I think that's the key, because I mean, it is a scary road for most people. And I guess most people don't do it and don't start a business and don't go on their own, because it is scary. I mean, you're risking money, you're risking time, you're risking sometimes everything. And the odds are against you.
Fear will always be there. Is you just need to understand it and use it to impulse what you're doing.
Yeah, and
Great.
you told me something when we met that kind of like stuck in my mind. And you said you use fear as a motivator, not
Yes.
as an obstacle. So I
Mhm.
think it's very important to remind people that you're gonna go through these challenges, you're
You
gonna
will.
face so many obstacles.
Yeah.
But what about if you change the perspective and you look at it as, you know, this is a challenge, I'm gonna figure it out. Like
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
do it. So Carolina, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing so many advices, tips, and recommendations for us and for other people as well.
Yeah.
For sharing your inspiring story. This has been great. Have an hour talking to you.
No, thank you guys, and I hope that my story inspires some other people and some other women out there that also they have the talent, they have everything that it takes, but they just wait until somebody tell them that they are able to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're capable. We have everything we need, and we got this.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And we wish you the very best in your future
Thank you.
projects. And I hope you can get to be the next McDonald's. Carolina, thank you very much for being here. And I'll
Thank
see you guys
you.
next Tuesday.